Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. This video is a general review, looking at this car's customization and performance. Any personal thoughts I share are subjective in nature, and remember, your experience with the car will likely be different from mine. This review is not a tier list, nor is it a guide on what is meta. The main goal is to objectively show you the car's features so that you can decide for yourself if it is worth pulling for. Overall, don't roll because it is meta. Roll because you like the car or what you learn here about how it behaves. The decision is yours to make, not anyone else's to dictate to you. Thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Have you ever wanted to wrestle a bull from the golden age of supercars? Have you ever dreamt of taming the very first hypercar that somehow crash-landed into standard class? Then let me tell you why you should, or should have rolled, for the 1998 Lamborghini Diablo Superveloce. Welcome to Why You Should, where you know you're old if you look at this one car and it reminds you of your PlayStation 1 days. Do note that whatever I say about the car doesn't reflect on its overall performance in its entirety with regards to performance in comparison to other vehicles in the game. If you're here because you have a thing for petite Asian brunette girls whose identity involved around Avril Lavigne, red jumpsuit apparatus, and Dakota Star as you race down the French Riviera until the Italian countryside where their private racetrack is at, smash that like button, share this with your fellow RM drivers, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a poll-worthy pick. The Diablo SV roared into the late 90s as the poster child of excess. A 5.7-liter naturally aspirated V12 monster built when Lamborghinis were still wild, unruly, and gloriously impractical. This specific pre-facelift model is the 5-speed icon immortalized by Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit, not the latter VT variant with 6 gears. In Racing Master, it stands out as the first ever hypercar in standard class, and even without upgrades, it flexes the strongest raw power of any standard class machine, pairing its muscle with surprisingly competent handling stats. Weighing in at 1530 kilograms and unleashing 510 horsepower, the Diablo SV is brute force dressed in razor edges. While its acceleration and handling stats are exceptional for the standard class, its gears are infamously long, akin to its real-life counterpart. Still, its base strength is undeniable. It's a power titan in disguise, just waiting for someone to tame it. Customization is absolutely minimal. No changeable body parts except for wheels, though every component is paintable. Its sole body kit, dubbed the Queen Bee, transforms the Diablo into a yellow and dark gray track-ready monster slightly inspired by the Diablo GT2 race car. It brings fixed close headlights with one slightly cracked open, aggressive bumper cannons with over fenders, side vent gills, and a signature side roof-mounted racing wing. It's a visual tribute to its race-bred heritage, and the only way to make this raging bull look even angrier. The Diablo SV packs a mid-level hyperlaunch and maintains super acceleration up to 185 km per hour, giving it surprising punch on launch. Its drifting traction is solid, so you're guaranteed to not veer off to the outside and eat wall, and it offers great slipstream performance, letting it slingshot down long straights when tucked behind a rival. Amidst its outstanding capabilities, let's remind ourselves again why the Diablo was shafted in standard class and not in sports or extreme. Despite its numbers, the Diablo is held back by extremely fat gear ratios and its heavy weight making it sluggish at low RPMs, though only prominent at Gear 1. It is also prone to torque loss when drifting past yellow drift angles. Its rate of acceleration feels ridiculously slow, even though it technically has super acceleration. It makes you feel you are playing in half the playback rate. It is very ECU dependent to become viable, and even at ECU 5, it can only push either acceleration or handling to S rank, not both depending on your tuning setup. The Diablo is flexible with tuning, albeit highly dependent on it, but you must work around its sluggish tendencies. Unlike other cars where it fixes problems, for the Diablo, it fixes some, but it creates some too. The first of two recommended tuning settings for the Diablo SV is 23332. A very go-to tune for anything ECU 0 until ECU 4. Sacrifice a little on low RPM acceleration to pad out gears to improve pacing without sacrificing cornering or stability. It makes drifting through corners fun, fast, and manageable, and able to tackle low-speed corners above 100 km at high RPM compared to others needing less speed or lower revs. Now things change when you max it out to ECU 5, where the two recommended tuning ratios are 33231 or 21233. The first setting, 33231, shortens gear ratios for better acceleration with a high enough level of cornering to stay competitive against lightweight corner machines. Ideal for hairpin heavy tracks, although it struggles in prolonged high RPM speed duels. The latter setup, 21233, a very unorthodox tune, pushes high RPM acceleration and cornering power, great for those who know how to handle corners while keeping a fast pace and not abuse red drifts too much. But it introduces severe stalling tendencies when using Gear 1 on tight turns or hairpins at places like Seoul River, Tokyo Shibuya Crossing, or Sicily City. When driving the Diablo SV, do take note of the following. Launch it like an Audi RS7. Do not feather the throttle until after 2 on the countdown and aim for a super perfect launch or a little bit past it, never before. Turn in early and drift before the usual braking zone to reduce reliance on its sluggish brakes. Keep it at mid to high revs and get used to drifting mostly between gears 2 and 3, or gear 1 only for ultra technical maps like Sicily City, making most of that wide gearbox. Maximize slipstream opportunities and avoid letting your speed drop too low into gear 1's low RPM range. This will power stall no matter your tune. The 1998 Lamborghini Diablo SV is raw, loud, and unapologetically brutal. A wild bull from a bygone era, forcing to behave among civilized standard cars. It's not easy to master, but those who can wrangle its torque and manage its stubborn gears will unleash one of the most iconic machines ever built. For veterans craving a true challenge wrapped in pure 90s flair, or if you're sick of seeing the S15 Silvia be on top all the time, the Diablo SV is the chaos you've been looking for. But that's just my take. What car do you want to see me break down next? And if you roll for the Diablo SV, drop your experience in the comments. Help out the ones still in the fence or kicking themselves for skipping it. While you're here, hit like if this helped, share it with your crew, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. This is Miyogi saying see you guys on the next roll.